name is Anthony Sanoka Makubuya. Today, I'll be summarizing the book called The Pilgrim's Progress, modern day version, all the way up to chapter 2. So, one day, this guy named Christian had a dream of where he read this book. Now, it wasn't any regular book, because whenever he read the book, he found out that later he had a huge burden on his back. And now Christian had a wife and children, so he didn't know how to get rid of this burden. And so he was so sad, and he was confused on why this is happening. And he later read in the book that his area is going to be burned. And so he was so sad, confused, and he thought no one could help him. But then one day, in his dream, he found this guy. His name was Evangelist. Now, he went up to this guy, and the evangelist said, "Do you see this gate?" And Christian said, "No." Well, then evangelist said, "Do you see the light over there?" And Christian said, "Yeah." Well, then evangelist said, eventually, to go follow the light. It would lead you to the gate. So Christian did as he said. While many were calling him fools and telling him that he's crazy, he still went because he wanted to get rid of the burden. So as he was walking, two people came up to him. Their names was Obstinate and Parrot. And as they went, Obstinate and Parrot told him that you should go there, and they're trying to get him away from there and try and stop him, even if force was necessary. So then, whenever they're trying to force him and stop him from going there, Parrot eventually got attracted to what he has to say, and eventually got persuaded to go with him. After that, they went, and then Christian told everything to him. He told him what was going to happen, how it was going to happen, and what time it was going to happen. As they were going, they came across a swamp, but yet Christian didn't notice. The swamp. So listen. And so, when they went, they fell into the huge swamp. Now, Parrot was so angry at him that he soon later left and went home after that. And then Christian, since he had this huge burden on his back, he couldn't move, and so he was stuck in there. But then later, a man named Pilgrim came over there, and he helped him, and he said, "What are you doing here?" And Christian responded, "Well, I was trying to go to the gates, but then I ended up in this swamp." Help responded, "Well, this swamp is filled with filth, and that there's stones, and there's a way to get across with some little tiles, but even if you did notice them, it would still be very hard to see, and you'd probably still fall in." Christian then asked, why couldn't they just fill up the swamp, and make it so people don't fall in? Well, that's the problem. It's so filthy, and that no one owns it. They can't fill it up. So then after that, helped Christian get out of the swamp. Now, as he was gonna continue, he came across a guy named Mr. Wordy Wise Man, and then Mr. Wordy Wise Man told him that, "Where are you going?" And then Christian responded, "Well, I'm going to get this huge burden because it's been disturbing me all this time, and I'm going to the gates." And then Mr. Wordy Wise Man said, "Well, don't go here. This is a hard route. You should use the easier route. This route has dragons, swords, you have to suffer pain, nakedness, and a bunch of a whole other things." Wow. Mr. Wordy Wise Man told him also to go to the opposite direction, where it would be way easier. And then Mr. Wordy Wise Man asked him, "Do you have any family?" And then Christian, of course, responded, "Yes." "You haven't?" And then Mr. Wordy Wise Man said again, "Do you have any children?" And then Christian said, yes. So then Mr. Wordy Wiseman said, there are some really nice houses over there, and you should go over there, and they're reasonably priced. And you'll also be able to get the burden off your back. You'll find in the town of Morality, and you'll see a guy named Legality over there. So then Christian was thinking about if she should go to the gate or if he should go follow Mr. Wordy Wiseman. And he chose to follow Mr. Wordy's Wiseman. After all, he said it would be a better place. Now, as he was going, there was this huge hill, and he didn't notice it. Slowly, it would start to rise, and his burden on his back became heavier and heavier. As there were flames beside on the mountain, and he was super scared, and he was super high. He froze whenever he was up there. Then he came across Evangelist again. And then he looked at Evangelist and said, well, and then the Evangelist said to him, what are you doing over here? I thought I told you to go to the gate. While Christian was looking down because he was so ashamed of himself, he said, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. This guy named Mr. Wordy Wiseman told me to come over here. And then Evangelist was like, wait, what did he look like? And then Christian said, well, he looks like a gentleman. And then Evangelist said, oh, that guy, he's a liar. And then Christian said, he also told me to go to the town of Morality and see the guy named Legality. Evangelist told him, the town of Morality is nothing but just he was lying. It's not a real place. And that Legality was just a cheat. And Mr. Wordy Wiseman was a liar, and that you should never follow anything. And then Christian was so ashamed and so sad that what he'd done that he said, is there any way I could go back? Evangelist said, there is one way, but if you do ever try and go the opposite direction ever again, you won't be ever let that burden off your back, and you'll die. So then Christian was so happy, and then he went off back to the swamp and went to the gate. Watch out for my next episode on Chapter 2 of The Pilgrim's Progress, the second best-selling book after the Bible. Today I'll be talking. I can't see. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Today I'll be talking about My name is Anthony Sanoka Makubuya, and today I'll be summarizing the book called The Pilgrim's Progress in modern day version.